very happy Monday to all of you out there at the PJ Campbell Network. What's going on, everyone? How you doing? It is Monday, the 15th of February, the day after Valentine's Day. Welcome back to the PJ Campbell Network. We're so excited to have you guys. And tonight we are watching Rob Reiner's The American President, which is a movie that I love very dearly. And I am very sad to say, and I might as well just get this out of the way, because it came up in the chat. Where is the movie streaming? Well, up until just a couple of days ago, it was on Netflix. But as it goes with the streaming services, stuff disappears. And unfortunately, it is no longer there and is just available for rent. But the rental, if you want to rent it, it's not very expensive. But I am apologetic to you guys. I can't make this stuff up. The stuff gets pulled before we get there. And with me tonight is my friend Tim. Hi, Tim.
Hello.
How are you?
I saw that it wasn't streaming, so I rented it. But I love how they do that. Perfect timing.
It's happened to us so many times now, and it almost makes me sad. But I'm just like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna do this. PJ, I hope this doesn't happen on Friday. It won't, Buck. I don't think Disney Plus is going to get rid of D2, but I guess anything is possible. But real quick, guys, before we get started, we have some patrons and patrons, and I'd like to thank you guys. So let's roll that. I always like those videos that Maxwell puts together for the patrons. I think it's so cool. It's a good job. And just so you guys know, what do we have going on? Buck brought it up. Friday night, if you come back and hang out, we're going to be watching D2, The Mighty Ducks. This is a producer pick from our friend Brendan Buckingham. I don't know exactly what time yet. We do have a Schmodown pay-per-view. Just kind of keep your ears to the ground, and we'll let you guys know exactly what's going on. And also, I think, Tim, you have something to do with this.
Yeah, so we're doing added to the playlist pop punk edition on Wednesday for the Suddenly soundtrack scheduling this week. So it's going to be myself, Maxwell Haddad, James White, handsome Dan Nye, Sean Sullivan, and the very talented David B. We'll be picking out some of our favorite pop punk songs and making a playlist for y'all to check out. So check it out. It should be fun. Should be very angsty. And it's going to remind me a lot of high school. So
hell yeah. We're also going to be doing a watch along next Monday. It is a double feature, in fact, which I'm very excited about. And I think you're going to be here for some of this. We're doing a double feature of Eddie the Eagle and Cool Runnings, you guys. And what's so cool about this is that these two events in sports history happened at the same Winter Olympics, which is so wild. And that's why I can't wait to do this as a double feature. These are two of my favorite sports movies, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's actually been a long time since I've revisited Cool Runnings.
I love Cool Runnings so much.
It's so good, man. R.I.P. the great John Candy.
John Candy's the best.
We're also going to be, if you have not already, check out the Children of Blood and Bone over there for Book Nook number 2. That'll be going live, I believe, March 2nd, because February is a short month, so they're doing it 2 days into March. And if you guys have not, we're going to be re-airing the Amelia Barr interview from Fun Center Mez, because there was actually an issue in the upload, apparently, afterwards on YouTube. We don't know what happened. We're going to get it fixed, and you guys can watch it again tomorrow night. Also, if you haven't watched last night's Unwind, it was a lot of fun. We talked all sorts of like fun romantic things, and then it got real serious. You know what I'm saying?
But then it went back to romantic.
Evil Dead Reefism. That's what we're doing. Cool Runnings and Eddie the Eagle are both currently on Disney Plus, which will probably change by the end of the week, knowing our luck on this channel. But that is where they are both currently streaming. That was why we planned it that way. They're both Disney products, or movies, not products, but also products. And that's where you can find it. Of course, tomorrow night, watch the Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist recap with Maxwell and all of them. Or is that, or is it off right now? I don't remember. I promoted it, Maxwell. I want to make sure that they watch your show and come back and watch WandaVision. Yeah, and come and watch WandaVision with us on Saturday, because it's fun and we love talking WandaVision. Tim, do you have anything else you want to add before we jump into this thing?
Nope. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. I really don't remember much about it, so I might be kind of quiet. I'll try to talk here and there.
That's all right.
I apologize in advance if I don't have a lot to say. I mean, I'll have a lot to say as things come up. I'm sure I can come up with stuff, but it has been a long time since I've seen this movie, and it's not something I regularly watch. So I'm excited to kind of watch it from more of a fresh perspective, since I really don't remember much about it.
So I actually saw this in theaters. I remember seeing it as a kid, and I think this is one of the movies that had a pretty big impact on me at a very early age, because sometimes you see something and it just kind of stays with you, and that was this movie for me. I think a part of it was obviously the Michael J. Fox factor, just because obviously, as everyone knows, he's my favorite actor. He's in my favorite movie of all time. So anytime he was in something, it always caught my eye. But it was also one of the first times I was real young when it came out, because this is 95.
95, yeah.
So I was 5 years old, but the movie in a theater still kept my attention. And that's pretty interesting, considering it's like a political romantic comedy, if you will. And What a perfect way to kind of do President's Day today than watching this movie, especially as our country is looking to find its own turnaround and stuff. This is kind of perfect, in my opinion, at least, to really hunker down and kind of remind us of what we can be. And I think that this cast is so excellent. Obviously, the great
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. We got Annette Bening. There's Martin Sheen, Michael J. Fox. Richard Dreyfuss is in this movie. You guys are going to see all sorts of people you recognize. On top of that, directed by the great Rob Reiner, who was directing another script by Aaron Sorkin. It would be the second time they worked together, coming off of A Few Good Men. And also, in a lot of ways, this is the precursor to The West Wing in a lot of ways. And you guys are going to see a lot of that when you watch the movie. It very much feels in a way, the template, if you will, for it. They definitely built off of The West Wing for this movie. Stephen, it's no Dave, but sir, I like Dave. Don't get me wrong. This is my preferred movie because it has Michael J. Fox. So with that, I'm going to count us down. I'm really glad to see all the usual suspects in the chat. Love all of you. If you're a first-time watcher, welcome. We're glad to have you. Our repeat offenders, I'm always happy to see you. I'm going to count down from 5. As soon as I say go, we're all going to hit play. We're going to watch this movie together, commentate it, have a great time. This should be a lot of fun. Don't you think, my friend?
It'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
All right, let's do this in 5. Yep, that's right, Dipper. 3, 2, 1, and go. Thank you, Dipper. I'm glad you can count too. I think I said this before, but I miss the Castle Rock Entertainment logo.
I know.
It gives me nostalgia the moment I see it, and it was a great part of the old Time Warner Company, man. You ever see some of those, and it's just your flashback to your childhood, right away?
Oh, yeah. It's very specific things.
Mm-hmm. Reefism says, what is everyone's first Michael Douglas film? His was Jewel of the Nile. Mine was probably this, to be honest.
Mine was probably Jewel of the Nile as well. I actually saw Jewel of the Nile before I saw Romancing the Stone.
Did you really?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
That's awesome.
But I love both those movies.
I love both of them too. I think those movies are great.
It's super fun. I don't think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I think those are the two that come to mind that I probably.
Because I don't think I saw Wall Street until I was probably a teenager. I
didn't see Wall Street or what's the Stalker one?
Oh,
Fatal Attraction. I
yeah,
didn't see
Fatal
Fatal
Attraction.
Attraction until like later either.
I'm trying to he's done so much work, and I love that we live in a world where even Michael Douglas is in like the MCU. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
that is so dope to me. Like the one thing I've always liked about the MCU more than anything is that we get all these really cool actors who are prominent and like have had big parts of my upbringing at least. And now they're a part of this. Like if you look at guys like Robert Redford, who would have ever thought he was going to be in a superhero movie? You know what I mean? Like,
You know, it's a good Michael Douglas movie that came out in the late '80s.
which one?
Black Rain with Andy Garcia.
Oh yeah, that is a really good movie. You know what's not a very good movie that has Michael Douglas, but I've watched it more times than I'd like to admit is The Sentinel.
Mm.
It came out in like the late 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh yeah, Falling Down is excellent. That
Yeah,
I
Falling Down's
definitely
really
saw
good.
that young.
Yep.
We thinking of Martin Sheen or are we thinking of Christopher Walken, Chris?
Because they're
You
both
said
in it.
oops, not him, because they are both in it. Rob Reiner, man, the dude just doesn't miss in my you know, it is what it is. We all make movies, and not everyone likes everything he's done, but this right away is what I love is that it's West Wing vibes. It's the walk and talk, right?
Mm-hmm. I've actually never seen The West Wing either.
Is
That's
interesting.
another
I'm
show I need to
surprised.
watch. It's on my list to watch, but
It's on
I
Max
haven't.
now.
I know I need to watch it now that it's on Max again now because it was on
Mr.
Netflix,
Rock.
but
This is my
I
favorite.
didn't really feel like watching it during the election.
Well, it wouldn't be a Monday unless Lewis was concerned about something I did the night before. And Monday morning it is. I love Michael J. Fox.
He's a legend.
Yes, sir. If you guys have never seen Spin City, those first 4 seasons with Michael are some of the best television ever. I love that. It's like make sure you say by name whoever it is, so he's got someone right there to tell him the name in case he forgets. Well, that's okay, Chris, because Martin Sheen is in this too, so you weren't far off. Yeah, right. Reefism. Michael J. Fox is great, man. What's not to like? One of the greats.
Is that the girl from Super Mario Brothers?
It is. Hit yourself with a baseball bat.
Samantha something, I think is her name.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Samantha Mathis?
That sounds right.
I still got my Schmodown ability in me.
You do, man. I could use that behind the scenes, Tim. This movie, off the bat, just oozes Sorkin, though, right? Like the dialogue already feels like Sorkin dialogue.
Yeah,
you can tell right away he definitely wrote this movie.
It is Samantha Mathis. Boom.
Yeah. Now there's this thing hanging out there. Yeah, Spin City had a fantastic cast, Chris. Alan Ruck, so many people in it, man. Hey, look, it's Martin Sheen. Applause.
Alan Ruck is great in Succession. If you haven't checked that out,
I need to watch that. That's on my list. If you guys have not, by the way, we were talking about it last night, but Judas and the Black Priest is like a must-see.
Messiah.
Or Black Messiah, I'm sorry. What did I say?
Black Priest.
Black Priest. Judas Priest, that's why.
It's like, it's religious. You got it.
But if you guys haven't watched it, please do. And Martin Sheen is excellent in it.
Yeah.
I have indeed, Riffism. It's so good. One of the things that this movie does so brilliantly is, and it's the thing I think The West Wing has always done brilliantly too, is it's actually made politics like digestible, I feel like, for people who don't necessarily know what's going on. Like, they kind of make it exciting, and that's a weird thing to say, but if it makes you actually care about politics, that's a good thing, because I think a lot of people write it off as something that doesn't matter to them. And it's like, no, it does matter, and you should care about the things that the politicians are talking about and doing and saying. And this movie has done it so brilliantly, and The West Wing does it so brilliantly. And I feel like Douglas has always been like the perfect choice for being someone who was president of the United States, right? Like, what a perfect choice of an actor to play that role. And that, what a great line. Again, 95 being so ahead of itself in a way, like the idea that for whatever reason sometimes people don't look at gun crime as the same thing, and so them kind of having that as a hot topic issue within the film has always been very interesting to me. But I also think, oh, go ahead, sir.
Well, just the gun control has been such a big issue since the Reagan attempted assassination.
Yep.
Specifically because of James Brady and the effect it had on him. But yeah, it's very topical.
And I like that. One of the things that you kind of see within the movie, you kind of get this feel that Lewis really cares about the issue, but the president is also not necessarily willing to just like jam things through. Like, he's trying to keep people's support and their trust. And so there's like a balance to it, which I've always liked and find fascinating. What's up, Sean? It's all right, Rachel. Thank you for coming.
That's understandable.
Yeah, definitely. Come back and watch it sometime once you are. Reefism. This was 100% my first Annette Bening movie, The Great Outdoors.
Grew up. Oh yeah, probably mine too. I keep forgetting she's the wife in that,
yeah.
or the sister-in-law.
She's so good in it too. This movie is full of so many great character actors. Of course, and I always forget his name. He was on Frasier. John Mulaney.
John Mulaney. No.
Mahoney. I never say it right. And this actress was the voice of Pacha's wife in The Emperor's New Groove. But for whatever reason, like, the one thing I think of is Hot in Cleveland, because my mom used to watch that show all the time, and she was one of the leads in it on TV Land back in the day. John Mahoney. Thank you, Brian. You're the man.
John Mahoney. Yeah. Mahoney.
Yeah, Rachel, you stay warm and safe too. It's a little crazy out there in certain parts of the country. Texas got snowed on today. It's confusing for all of us.
I had a big crush on Samantha Mathis. Around this time.
I could see that. She's cute, man.
She's also in Broken Arrow.
Oh yeah. She's got a real good like girl next door vibe is the best way to probably describe it.
And I think, if I remember correctly, I believe she's the voice of the main fairy girl in Ferngully, like the lead. Mm-hmm. I think she's the voice of her.
She is. Hey, what's up, Stardew? Hey, Marzonia! What's up, Alex? What are you doing out there, buddy? We miss you. Broken Arrow is really good. I agree, Stardew. One of the things I like, too, is that they just kind of laid out was that line where you learn very quickly that his wife has passed away.
That's the icebox from Little Giants.
Correct.
Now I'm excited.
But they just kind of laid the groundwork that he lost his wife and he is a single father.
Yeah.
That is also president of the United States. And I kind of interesting to do like the single parent thing in the middle of the White House,
Mm-hmm.
And I love that she's like not really into history and she doesn't really want to deal with it.
She just wants to play football, man.
Of course, and the trumpet, obviously, or trombone. That brass instrument.
I'm very familiar with the trombone. I just watched, before I came on here, I watched American Pie 2.
Oh, I
And
haven't seen that.
a trombone plays a part in that movie a couple times.
That's true. The ending specifically.
Yep, very much in the ending.
I really like those first two American Pie movies. I actually really like the fourth one too.
Yeah, the first two are great, and the fourth one I just finally watched, and it's good too. Third one,
less said.
The third one's there. It's a movie.
Yeah, it exists. Dreyfuss said, "What was everybody's first Martin Sheen film? Mine was Wall Street."
Martin Sheen.
Have to look. I love he's trying so hard to make her care about the Constitution and
it's probably Apocalypse Now. I saw that at a pretty young age.
That's a traumatizing movie to see at such a young age.
I don't know, but I was really into war movies, and my dad was a big war movie fan, so I saw a lot of stuff.
I mean, that was a judgment.
And I saw a lot of stuff at a very young age. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I could have seen sooner.
You know what mine was?
Yeah, I think it's
mine was Gettysburg.
Yeah, Gettysburg is right there. Yeah,
because my dad was a huge Civil War buff, and I mean, Tim, you and I have talked about this privately behind the scenes. We both love history, and we grew up on history. And I used to watch Gettysburg a ton as a kid.
Yeah, my degree is in history, and specifically Civil War history. So yes,
yeah. And he's great in that movie. What is Spawn? Was it Spawn? Oh, that's interesting. Spawn's
a good one too. Yeah.
Spawn would be up there.
Also, I think Hot Shots Part 2 is another one that I saw pretty early.
Yeah, I thought about that being one of mine too, because that kind of speaks to it, you know. This little moment right here is just so good. Like that he's trying to be vulnerable and AJ is just like willing to listen because they've been friends before this.
Mm-hmm.
Put this right here. You were the best man at my wedding. Call me Andy. Mr. President. They're so good. And it's such a nice moment between two friends who are also in two of the most powerful positions in the entire world. Being respectful of the position, you know what I mean? Like, as weird as that sounds, that's pretty.
Well, technically he's his boss, so it's like, you know,
yeah,
that separation, keeping that professionalism.
Yeah,
even when it's like in a moment between them, even still.
Yeah, I love the Frank Capra conversation. And one of the things I like about that is like Rob Reiner is so clearly trying to emulate Frank Capra, like so much of his filmography. That's clearly what he's going for. So I like that little bit because it feels kind of self-referential in a way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Refism's comment.
Which Romancing the Stone, maybe in '86.
No, Refism's comment about American Pie 2.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, I looked at...
So that one time at band camp?
Yep. So if this is 95, Michael J. Fox would be going into Spin City not too long around this time, too. These would be a couple of his last major live-action roles.
Because then he did, a year after this, he did Mars Attacks, right? That was 96. Yep.
And then, what is it, 97 is The Frighteners, or 98?
I believe it's 97. I think that's right.
The Frighteners, The Frighteners was the last live action movie he did as a lead star.
Yeah, because then he was in like voice work like with Stuart Little and stuff.
Yep. And Atlantis.
Yeah.
Because he started doing voice work in the early 90s with like Homeward Bound and stuff, but when the part, like he had always told ABC, he was only going to do 100 episodes of Spin City. It was going to be 4 seasons. They knew from the beginning because of he had figured the Parkinson's and stuff would be hard for him. And so he did his commitment to it, and then he quietly moved into voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
Annette Bening is so good in this, man. Oh, nice. That is awesome. Gifham has Masters in Civil War and Revolutionary War.
Nice.
You're in good company, man. Welcome to people who like history. It's kind of fun. This right here. The president. Douglas's face when he walks in. It's so good. Let's take him out back and beat the shit out of him. Oh, man. Oh, was the Frighteners 96 Reefism? That seems so early. All right, right on. That, I mean, I'm fine with that. But that would be his last like major leading role in a movie. Imagine being that person who's in a room and you don't know the president of the United States is standing behind you, and you say all that stuff, and then he's like, "Yeah, let's take him outside and beat the shit out of him." How do you react?
You'd just be embarrassed.
Yeah,
very embarrassed.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Ah, yes, the Resolute desk.
Yes, sir. Don't use that for beans and promotional shoots. The first war film you ever saw was Casualties of War, Reefism. That's dope. Brian De Palma, Michael J. Fox, Sean Penn. Good movie. I appreciate that.
I'm not sure what the first war film was I saw, but I can think of the first war film that had an effect on me that I remember. So it was a very early film I saw, and that was Full Metal Jacket.
I think mine was The Longest Day because my dad used to watch that pretty frequently.
Yeah.
And then probably Gettysburg. Because, I mean, that definitely counts as a war film. It's just a Civil War film.
Oh, yeah, it's a war film. It's still a war.
Yeah. Their chemistry is, like, real ridiculous in how good it actually is. And they bounce off each other perfectly. The way that they deliver their dialogue is just so good. Bless you.
Thanks. I don't know if Commando's a war film. Commando's an action movie
with Arnold Schwarzenegger destroying a small.
Yeah, there's no war actually going on. It's a action movie where he's saving his daughter.
Yeah,
he wages a one-man war, but
yeah, John Matrix.
And I love Commando. It might be my favorite Arnold movie. I love it so much.
Sean said he's more of a Major Payne guy. Steven said when he was young, he read a Vietnam War comic that was way too adult for his age. That's fair. Steven asked his Rambo count. I think kind of at least the second one.
I mean, I think the later ones because he's actually involved in like some skirmishes with like Afghanistan and like the Russians and stuff.
Yeah,
and I mean, Burma. It's like they're definitely more action movies, but I think they're closer to like action war than Commando. I mean, and I'm not saying like you're wrong about Commando. I just don't see it as a war movie.
Yeah.
But I love Commando.
Oh wow. Chris says that apparently Spin City's on the Pluto TV app. If you guys have never seen Spin City, that is awesome. I think that's the first time I've ever heard it's actually streaming somewhere. So you guys should check
Spin
it out.
City channel? Because Pluto's cool because they have like channels dedicated to things,
Right?
which is fun.
That's dope.
They have a Baywatch channel.
You told me about that.
Well, yeah, Baywatch is on Amazon. You can just watch it flat out. But then on Pluto, they have a Baywatch channel which just plays random episodes. Like it's not like in order or anything.
That's like Peacock has the SNL channel, and they just play different sketches. Oh, dude, I'm in his school.
There's a James Bond channel on Pluto.
Yeah, I love this show.
That's really cool.
These little things like this, where they're trying to humanize the president, like actually doing stuff when he's not being the president, like trying to play pool with his friend, is so good. Sidney Wade called and he misses a shot. This movie actually has quite a bit of little physical comedy moments that I like. Douglas didn't do a ton of comedy in his career, so I always like when he actually did. Wade. I patronized her. Like, the dialogue again is very Sorkin-like. I kind of love this idea of the president trying to find love. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Peggy. Yes. Me too. The movie is something that introduced me to Sorkin's writing, and I've always loved it for that. And not just that, but good actors bringing Sorkin's dialogue to life. Certain actors are just built for it. Martin Sheen, Michael Douglas, Annette Bening, Jeff Daniels, like the list goes on and on and on. Some of them were just built for it. Allison Janney. Even Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry, both in The West Wing and Studio 60, like crushed with Sorkin's dialogue.
I didn't know Matthew Perry was in West Wing. That's funny.
Yeah, he does like a 4-episode stint, I think. He's only on it a little bit.
Like the later season, or?
Yeah, it's after Friends ends. It's like, so it's kind of in the middle towards the end. I mean, of course, we all know that Sorkin only wrote like the first 4 seasons, but like the dialogue still was very Sorkin-esque all the way to the end.
Right. I've never seen The West Wing, but I sat at the West Wing desk.
You did. I've seen the pictures.
And if you want to sit at the West Wing desk, you can do so. If you go to the Warner Brothers and do the studio tour and go to the prop house, and they have the whole Oval Office set.
I went on the tour and I didn't get to see it. I was a little bummed out.
Yeah, I went twice, and the first time I didn't get to go to the prop house because they were doing some like resurfacing of the floors. But then the second time I went on the studio tour, I did get to see the prop house.
I need to keep that in mind.
It's cool.
And I agree with Peggy here. You have to have the right cadence. It's actually why I think that she didn't say anything about me. Again, the dialogue. Fassbender was a perfect example also. He crushed the dialogue in Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Similarly, I thought Idris Elba and Jessica Chastain were both fantastic in Molly's Game. I think Seth Rogen was actually quite good at it. Like Kate Winslet, these people get there's something specific that is about his dialogue that you have to be able to deliver. And I was very lucky to actually see Jeff Daniels on Broadway do Sorkin's To Kill a Mockingbird, which was just like a next level experience, seeing an adaptation of my favorite book on stage, rewritten by Sorkin with Jeff Daniels in the lead. Watch the Newsroom if you've never seen it. Like the last season's fine, but if you get to watch Jeff Daniels doing Sorkin dialogue for 3 seasons, I cannot recommend it enough. That's exactly it. There's like a musical quality to it, and I love it. There's tons of them in LA, Sean. Like a lot of the studios have tours and stuff. Universal's got a great VIP one. LA WB obviously has got one. Paramount has one. Disney had one. I don't know if they still do it.
I definitely, having gone on the Warner Brothers one twice, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Warner Brothers one was one of the last things I did in LA before I moved down here, actually. I went with Mazonia, who was in the chat earlier. Love that dude. We had a great time. I saw the Batmobile. Got to walk around the Ellen set, which was strange.
Yeah, I got to walk around the Ellen set.
Yeah.
The first one I went to when they didn't take us to the prop house, since we couldn't go to the prop house, they took us to a couple other sets. So I got to go. We went on the Pretty Little Liars set, and then we also went on the Supergirl set, which was awesome.
Oh, that's dope.
Because it was cool because they wanted to show that one because it was like a TV show that used like a movie quality set. So we were in like I've never watched the Supergirl show, but it was whatever the little like base is. It's like a cave.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's so dope.
It was cool. It was nice. It was really impressive. And then I saw Big Bang Theory set twice each time I went there. And
yeah, I loved that tour. I had a really great time, and I got to see lots of really cool stuff, man. I really recommend it if you guys get a chance. That WB one it's something.
Yeah,
this is so good. This whole scene where he called her and she doesn't believe it's the president, and he's like, "Call this number back, and you'll see who it is." And now she's like, "I just hung up. Like I mocked the president." Oh, she's so good. Annette Bening is so charming, man. She said he had a nice ass. To hell with it. I'm moving to another country. What a line of dialogue to be like, I have messed this up bad.
He's the president. He can get whatever.
Yeah. Sydney, Congress doesn't take this long. I'm not even watching the movie. I just know it. Peggy, you are my type of people. This is why I love when you come around. It makes me so happy. Yeah, I love this movie. It's so good. I should stop stalling. I love that he called her to ask her out. It's so adorable. It's like they're in high school all over again. Yeah, and also Chris is right. Annette is also a Marvel alum. She was in Captain Marvel, which was great. I thought she was really great in that movie. Sydney Congress doesn't take this long. I love that she takes this to the level of being like, "You're asking me to do this. It's a task. I'm so excited. It's just dinner, Sydney."
She's thinking from her career mindset.
I know. But I just love he's like, it's not espionage. Yeah, absolutely. Sorkin does use the proportional response. And what I really love about this movie is, we said it before this started, but this 100% feels like the precursor to the West Wing. In a lot of ways, I consider it a prequel to it. Like, I like to believe that Michael Douglas's character was actually one of the presidents in that timeline. They never say anything, but you can get away with it. They were both made by Warner Brothers. They were both written by Sorkin. There's no reason it couldn't have.
So proud of himself.
You, new guy. That's a great question. Did he tell the phone operator not to transcribe the call? It's a great question. Peggy, I love CJ. She's one of my favorite characters ever put on television, which is why I kind of love that the vice president in this is AJ. Again, there's little connections here and there, but I like to believe that they're the same universe. They just feel so similar down to the characters and the way people interact, which makes sense. It was written by Sorkin, so. Big date tonight. That dude kind of looked like Ted Raimi, didn't he?
Yeah, I was just wondering about him actually.
I think he was a character actor who used to pop up in all sorts of things. And if you look, you'll probably find something, and I'll know right away when you say something. But
I don't know if I'm gonna
hey,
figure
what's
out
up, Patty? Good to see you. Always love seeing you here. Hey, there's Richard Dreyfuss, everybody, as
That's
Robert
right.
Rumson. That guy actually, right there, talking to him, he was in Spider-Man, wasn't he? No.
He's in a lot of stuff. I can't remember what I'm thinking of.
He's in all sorts of stuff, yeah.
Hold on, he's a cop in something.
Yeah, it's not Spider-Man. I'm thinking of something else.
Can't remember.
Character actors that pop up. I love Sorkin's movies and TV shows because it lets a lot of character actors pop in who could really deliver dialogue and just like be in face in something, and it always works. But I love this too. I love his daughter trying to help him get ready for the date because they've clearly been through some stuff with the passing of the wife and losing a mom, and it can't be easy to be a single dad who is also the president of the United States and trying to raise a daughter, and the daughter actually helping him try to get out there again,
Yeah.
Something inherently very sweet about it, in my opinion. And he even asks, like, Lucy, is it okay? And that's really important to me. She's like, shut up, old man. Go and meet this woman.
I'm just gonna keep calling her the Icebox.
Icebox. I mean, that's fair. What's up, Jeremy? Good to see you, my friend. The Watchalong has been great so far. We're glad to have you. Compliment her shoes. Girls like that. Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't know the actor's name, but that's 100% accurate, Peggy.
What was it?
The dude who plays the therapist in the West Wing pops into the newsroom as one of the RNC guys who's old friends with Will. But she can't remember his name. I can't remember his name either, but he's excellent in it. You guys are going to hear this live, but I'm going to message Brandon Hanna back because he just sent me a message. Hey, Brandon, I'm live right now on the YouTube channel, and you decided to show me a pizza joint that I can't eat at right now, and that was fucked up. How dare you, sir? And now everyone watching the watch-along can hear me yelling at you as I text you. Have a good night, buddy. Enjoy the pizza. Wish I was there. Bye. Everyone go yell at Brandon Hanna 07 on it, Twitter. Tell him that he shouldn't have had Pizza Wagon of Brooklyn without Tim and I tonight.
We had pizza on Saturday.
We did. He was mad that we had it without him. Yeah, we had pizza on Sunday. Star Drew, it was dope.
Was it Sunday? I thought it was Saturday.
No, it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday? I don't
It
know.
was literally yesterday. We had pizza together yesterday before the unwind.
Oh, that's right. It was before the unwind. So yesterday. Yep. True.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I
I
agree with
just
this,
show up.
Jeremy.
I just show
That's
up every
true.
day.
Yeah, the opening speech in the newsroom is one of my favorites ever, too. I've always wanted to go to one of these like super swanky parties, let me tell you. Brandon responded to me, haha, sorry, you started it by getting pizza with Tim yesterday. That's on you. Enjoy your show. Love you. Love you too, Brandon. Oh wow. Look at her like going straight into other languages and stuff. It just so good. And Douglas's face, he's like, huh, look at her. She's my date. It's so cool. She speaks other languages. Adam Arkin. Yes, I love Adam Arkin. He's also great in Hitch, the son of Alan Arkin. I think he's so
Adam
fantastic.
Arkin is also in. He is in a horror movie.
Which horror movie? Why? Oh, Halloween H2O.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. He plays Jamie
He's
Lee
like the love
Curtis's
interest.
boyfriend. Yeah.
He's also the villain in the second season of Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, he is.
He's like the leader of the white nationalist group that comes to town.
Yeah, I love Adam Arkin. Anytime he's in anything, it's always a good day. I always think he brings his A game. And Hitch is another one that I know that movie like front to back, and everything I think about is his very first scene, and I like line for line talk about like his whole interaction is just so good. I almost said Curse of Michael Myers because for whatever reason I was going to go there. And I was like, no, it's H2O. Poor dude gets killed. I mean, this isn't a conversation for this panel, but all the same, what is your preferred Halloween timeline? Because it is the choose your own adventure of movie going.
I mean, I like, despite liking like pretty much most of the movies very much for the most part.
Me too.
I do like the fact that Michael is not her brother, so I do prefer that timeline.
So 1 to 18.
So that would make 1 to 18 essentially. But I do enjoy the original Halloween 2 a lot, and I do enjoy Halloween 4 and H2O very much. So
yeah, I think mine is still going to be 1, 2, and H2O just because I got such a nostalgia for it, and I think H2O gets like such a great ending for that whole situation. But all of that matters is I like Halloween, and I enjoy watching them. This whole scene is so beautiful. The music is great. That little moment that they share about her saying yes is so good. And her just like looking at everything on this little ride back. It's like, I just went on a date with the president. And it was awesome. And like that little happy sigh as she closed her eyes. It's so good, man. Oh, I didn't realize Adam Arkin was also directing right now. Reefism, that's dope. That's the one, Peggy. That's the line. This leads to pictures of Savvy with Bestie Burnett. A very, very big raise. Geez, you could find dirt in a snowstorm. Yes, so good. Hitch is the best. I love that movie. We really need to do a watch along of Hitch.
I'm surprised you haven't already. I thought you guys haven't done one.
No, because Maxwell and I guested on a commentary of it over the summer together with our friend Manish, which is actually Maxwell's recording a podcast with him right now, I think, for Eclipse. And we did an entire commentary, and it's great. So if you guys haven't checked it out, try to find that Hitch commentary. I'll find the link and I'll put it in the chat if I can. But so good. I love that damn movie. Will Smith is endlessly charming. None of your damn business. I think Michael J. Fox gets to do some of his best acting in this movie. Just it's a quieter performance from him. Like so many of his characters are very exaggerated because he's so good at exaggeration. But there's a couple of moments in this where he just gets like really good quiet work that I like seeing him do. No, you're good, Star Drew. I can give you the time. It is 42, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20.
Oh, it's what's her name? I don't remember her name, but she's in a bunch of stuff.
Peggy said, I'm going to shut up now before I get all my favorites taken away from for question possibilities. Peggy, at least you pay attention to the channel. I can't say that a lot of people always do that. So, hold on. It's good to see you. And yeah, we won't drink the sand. And hope you have a good night, Peggy. Thanks for coming and hanging out. I agree, Chris. Eva Mendes is fantastic in Hitch. I think she's endlessly charming in that movie, too. I think it might be my favorite Eva Mendes movie. Although Too Fast is up there, too, because I'm a big fan of Too Fast. The worst Fast movie, but I still like it. Jamie, you know where my credit cards are.
Storage.
But this is the president.
Yeah, right, sure.
Hello. It's such a great moment to like imagine someone being like, I'm sorry, you're who? I hired a pit bull, not a prom queen. That sounds like 100% a Sorkin line. Just something about that. Chris, I don't stand for Tokyo Drift slander in this house. I freaking love Tokyo Drift, and I think it's
great.
Yeah, and I think it's arguably one of the most important movies in that franchise. Don't at me.
I don't think it's the worst. I think actually the one I'd watched least is actually the one after Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, Fast and Furious. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst one in the franchise, probably.
I'd watch Too Fast, Too Furious before I watch Fast and Furious.
Dude, Too Fast is so cheesy, but I love it so much.
Yeah.
I still can't believe Hobbs and Shaw is a part of that universe. It's for Mrs. Wade. What other movie that Michael J. Fox is in does John Mahoney voice a character?
I mean, is it Atlantis?
Mm-hmm. Don't forget the rowboat, son. He's the guy who sets them on the expedition. In a perfect world, if I could remake Atlantis as a live action movie, I would actually have Michael J. Fox in that role, and I'd have Tom Holland playing Milo.
That'd be cool.
and I'd have Clancy Brown or Bruce Campbell as the James Garner character. That's the movie I would make. I love this. This whole scene is so good. The Sydney issue. It's, this isn't the scene I was thinking of. There's still another one coming, but I do remember that episode. I've watched Spin City more than almost probably any TV show. Refism. Those first 4 seasons are on constant repeat. I think the only other show or sitcom that like rivals it is probably Friends for me, as far as like just constant leaving it on. I know it so well. I'm fine with that, Chris. It's fine. Yes, Atlantis is so good. I think Atlantis is like primed to be a Disney remake just because I think that there's so much about it that would make such a great movie in live action. And I think you could just do so much with it. Like, think of the visuals on a movie like that in live action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. It's going to cost a lot of money to do it, but do it before Michael J. Fox can't act anymore. Like, I know he's retiring again, but I think he'd come out of it for like a day of shooting if you could. Let him do that scene in Atlantis. Let it be the that's my ride as the helicopter comes across the window.
Social
Meatloaf.
scenario.
Yeah. I do like meatloaf. Let's have meatloaf. I love meatloaf.
I haven't had meatloaf in a long time.
I'm waiting for Chris Clark to pop in the chat and start talking about meatloaf when we're talking about the food and not the singer.
Meat.
I always thought if you said meatloaf 5 times, Chris Clark appears like Candyman. Just saying. I should behave myself and entertain you until he gets back. Let Meatloaf night begin. That's like a night in Chris Clark's house where he just listens to Meatloaf records on a loop, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's all. That's definitely what it is.
Mom, the Meatloaf Reefism Great Wedding Crashers reference in the chat.
Meatloaf.
Fuck!
I don't know what she does back there.
Is that one of the all-time great cameos in a movie, by the way?
Yeah, it's great.
When he comes down the stairs and he's got the towel on around his neck and he goes, "What the fuck do you want?" and then it's just the way he delivers that line. It's so good. You put relish on your meatloaf, Star Drew?
I'd never done it, but I think it would be
Interesting.
fine.
No,
I could see it being good.
I just had to question. Like, I was very curious. I don't know.
But that's just because I like pickle stuff, so I love relish.
I mean, pickles are delicious. You know I eat pickles anytime.
Yes, that is Richard Dreyfuss.
Stardew is my favorite purely because of that, and I don't mean to ever pick on it. Like, it's always in good fun when his typos come through because he reminds me of Chris. Like, you guys have never lived unless you've seen a Chris Clark typo.
Oh, listen, my phone has the worst typos. Pat can attest to it.
True.
My phone just sends will populate stuff or change words, and I don't catch it. And I'm like, what did you just say? Like, what?
Yeah.
This damn phone.
Goddamn technology. Get off my lawn. I really need to go back to DC so I can go on a tour of the White House. I've always wanted to see the White House.
Yeah, I've never gone to DC, but I was supposed to go to DC last summer for a work conference, but with COVID, that was all kaput, obviously. So
I think as a channel, we've talked about doing stuff like that once things start to settle a bit and we all get to actually travel again. I think it'd be fun to actually do like video blogs of us actually going and seeing the world.
Mm-hmm.
God, that look. They're so adorable together. Oh, okay. It wasn't a towel, it was a pair of nunchucks. I couldn't remember. I just remember he had something wrapped around his neck. Thank you, Reefism. What a line in a movie like this. Can you ever be in a room with me and not think of me as the President of the United States? Like, what a way to look at that. What a great line, too. Let me tell you, as a lobbyist, you'd never be alone in a room with the president. Probably not. At least he's honest. Aww. That's so adorable. And then they're interrupted. What a way to have to end your date. Like, by the way, so the Libyans just bombed someplace, and now we have to call it a night.
You know, in real life.
Yeah. And I thought, like, a dying car battery or my tire being flat and missing a movie was bad. Stardrew said we should watch The First Kid at some point, the Disney movie. That's not a bad idea. I like that movie.
With Sinbad.
Yeah, I like that movie. You remember was it My Date with the President's Daughter with Will Friedle? I think it was a Disney Channel movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Wonder if that's on Disney Plus. This whole sequence blows my mind, and I just think it's so. He does something similar in The West Wing, but this idea that he's trying to figure out what is the best time to bomb back with the least amount of casualties, and it's the night shift. Like, that's imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Peggy was talking about, because they do the same thing again later in The West Wing.
I feel like that guy always plays a general in movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's certain actors who have like always been that way, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so good, man.
What's
And
good?
this whole movie, and the way that it can go from being like a sweet romantic comedy, right, to this like real life scenario, and it doesn't give you total whiplash. Like, it feels so real.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Yep. This line. He has no idea that an hour ago I gave an order to have him killed. I feel like we needed to hear that right now.
Oh yeah.
The least presidential thing you could do is to send someone to kill anybody.
Um,
Yeah, I
first
mean,
kid
but that's.
wasn't.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I was gonna
I was gonna
comment.
say real quick, Steven, to your point, but I think that's the point. You're not. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good move. Like, he's realizing the frustration and the anger that it has to feel that it is that person, right? Because he's the last thing. And that right there, a lot of people were killed last night. Can we keep our eye on the ball? Like, no one wanted to make that decision, and he's gonna live with it. Like, it's so good. Go ahead, my friend.
No, I was just gonna say in the chat, the kid. If they're talking about first kid and blank check, those are different kids. They're not the same kid in that movie.
Are they not? Oh wow.
No, because the kid in first kid is Brock Pierce, and the only reason I remember his name now is because he was running for president this last year. He was
That's
like
right.
he's like a cryptocurrency billionaire now, and he
Oh
was
my
running for
god.
president. And he actually had and his campaign strategist was Akon, the singer Akon.
Interesting. What a pair.
But yeah, that kid is Brock Pierce, and the kid in blank check, I forgot his name. I think it's Brian something, but yeah,
Remember
different kids.
when $1 million was the most money you could think of? LOL.
Hey man, Doctor Evil had the same problem.
That's one of the best gags in that first one.
$1 million.
And they all laugh at him.
Gotta love the beacons boxes. So Michael J. Fox technically had 2 run-ins with Libyans.
Yes.
In movies.
Even though time travel clearly changed it all.
I mean, he still had a run-in with him though.
Oh, that's true. They still had to.
That event still happened.
Yeah.
He still had to travel back in time.
Yep. You're right. I just. I seldom prance. The fact that, again, this is a political comedy in the way that their entire relationship could become a political statement, and yet it works. I beg your pardon.
Yep, that's true. I was going to bring that up too, Sean.
Yeah.
Mark Pierce was in Mighty Ducks.
Played young Gordon Bombay. No, but I'll show you. Explain it to me. The way she delivers that
It'd be
line.
interesting if we ever had a president that wasn't married.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Or,
like,
I mean, obviously, like just like a single person as president.
right.
Like, regardless of gender orientation, just someone who's not in a relationship. It would be interesting to see that.
I feel like there's so much that we'd have to talk about with that situation. In the like, not in a way to look down on it, but like if you look at this movie, I think it actually deals with it in a real world scenario where, in a lot of ways, there would be people who would use it against you as a tactical thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
clearly you're a playboy. Oh, you're sleeping around. You don't believe in family values. Like, that's the whole thing that it kind of hinges on in this movie is they go after it. We're gonna slow down. Perhaps I didn't. So good.
I forgot. I think, if I remember correctly, because I was just thinking about this, I think James Buchanan, who was president before Lincoln, I think he was single, if I remember correctly.
Oh wow, that's interesting. So is he the only one in the history of our presidency?
I believe so.
That's interesting.
Nobody wanted to marry him. He was a short man with a weird voice, and he was a dough face.
Right.
So fuck him. Fuck all the dough faces.
That's just rude, Tim.
Well, dough face.
We don't make these kind of comments here.
A dough face is a term for a leader or political figure, particularly a president during the antebellum pre-slavery days,
Yeah.
who was typically a northern politician who was pro-Southern states' rights and pro-slavery. So there you go. That's your history lesson for the night right there. A dough face. And so many of the presidents before the Civil War, there were a lot of them were dough face presidents. Hence why slavery was around for so long. Yeah.
Lewis.
It'd be so awkward.
I know. All of this, like, it's just so funny to me. everyone just showing up.
Different situation, but it kind of reminds me of the birdcage at the beginning when Senator Keeley is trying to avoid the press, and
Yeah.
they're just like so desperate.
I like that Michael J. Fox is immediately like, so I'm going to prison over this. Martin Sheen's like, get out of the room before you start a fight. Like, that is the last thing we need right now. But it's true. Like, no one should really be caring about what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, not a single part of this should anyone care about their relationship. But that's what tabloids and politics has become.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a little. This is good, and he's so he's just giddy like a freaking school kid, and it makes me happy. The kind of the way that they do this with all the news reports and stuff, and everyone watching is such a good way of indicating just how kind of broken we are. Like, there's actual important stuff to focus on, and all they want to talk about is the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Day 15 of Sydney Watch. Come on, man. See, right there. They're all like, oh, it's all about family values. Like, she was pushing him to actually go out with her. Ugh, it just makes me mad. And it shouldn't. It's a movie, but it's also like so accurately true to how we treat shit in life.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first Richard Dreyfuss movie? Was it
I mean,
Jaws?
Jaws or Close Encounters. Probably Jaws.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure mine was Jaws. And then this. Although I also saw the I mean, it was after, but I remember seeing Mr. Holland's Opus in theaters when that came out. I love that movie. Also, do you remember Kippendor's Tribe?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Mm-hmm.
And here again, we see someone taking old pictures and shit out of context to try to destroy someone's life and career. I have 100% seen that dude.
He was
in
in The
other
West Wing.
series.
He was in a lot of
Yeah,
stuff. A lot of because I looked him up. That's
The
Josh
West Wing is
Malina. Josh
yeah.
Malina.
Then the West Wing's the thing I'm thinking of probably. Right, and that's what I'm saying to Steven. Like, no matter what, there was always going to be character questions if he was single, which is why they're doing what they're doing, which is fundamentally the problem in a lot of ways with the media focusing and shifting their talking points and stuff to stuff that is unimportant comparative to other things. Like, when there's real things going on, focus on that. Like, remember, it wasn't that long ago that they were having problems in this movie with Libyan terrorists and stuff, and yet now they're on focusing just on her. Weird thing. I hope to age as gracefully as Michael Douglas in life. Incredibly handsome fellow.
I mean, his dad lived for a long time as well, so
Yeah.
got those good genes apparently.
Night, Reefism. Thanks for hanging out tonight, dude.
Later, man.
$13 years ago. And that's their focus. It's something that happened 13 years ago now. If only it was that simple, you know what I mean? Like, he's
Yeah.
right for wanting to feel that way. He's right for being like, don't interact with it. They're looking to draw you out. They're looking to attack, but you know. You think there's a florist planning an assassination? It's so good. And this is such a great payoff from the conversation on the phone earlier too, which I love. Her fainting. Same girl. She remembered me. So good. Steven said it's terrible, but there was a college coach who would only hire assistants with beautiful wives. His thinking was if the coach can't sell himself, how can he sell the program? Well, that's one way to do it, I guess. I mean, it's the same thing as like you see commercials now with almost anything, sex sells. People know that. I mean, Sydney says you're really stupid. You're just questioning your guilt. You're sassing me. I'd always loved the idea of being able to see Camp David, man. Something about that just sounds so awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Hey, look, it snowed there too, guys. It's like this movie is taking place right now in Texas and all over the country, really, because it's been snowing everywhere. A Stepford student, what a good line. Look at that old television, man. Those old tube TVs. It's interesting too because for a movie in the middle of the '90s to be leaning heavily on like a liberal president, I hadn't really thought about this before, but that's a pretty big swing because, like, you know, the GOP was still pretty prominently around in the '90s.
Yeah, this was right during
Clinton,
Clinton,
right?
though. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and Bush was like only a one-term president, so
No, I just think it's
but
interesting
you
though.
came off several, with
Yeah,
Reagan and Bush.
yep. And then going back into Bush, which is all just so crazy. Like, it's just so interesting to me. My father heard that. The West Wing has a couple of really great Christmas episodes too, so I kind of like that we reach Christmas time in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to meet some people. Ooh, that eggnog looks good. It wasn't that long ago we could have actually had some eggnog. I mean,
And I
it's
had
sort of.
eggnog. I had plenty of eggnog during Christmas.
I
Faux
didn't.
show.
I didn't have very much this year. I had a lot of apple cider and brandy. It was delicious. Star Drew, I don't know what Christmas is like with snow, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think I've ever had a snowy white Christmas like in the movies.
No, I
Not
never
not
have.
a one.
I've had a snowy Easter.
Yeah. One day I'll get to experience a snowy Christmas, but I've never had that. I'm used to like palm trees and sunshine mostly for Christmas, which is a weird thing. Ooh, that's like insider trading right there. She could have had no idea she was unleashing such hell in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I kind of like too is like again with the whole thing there's a big balance in this movie between like being political, being romantic, being actually like plot driven. I dig it, man. That's such a good line. People people tell me or people care what I tell them to care about. So good. It's this movie was really going for like environmentalism and gun control very strongly and it's so interesting that we're almost 30 years away from that now and that hasn't changed. Man, wine sounds good right now. I just see that wine bottle. Chat, how are you enjoying the movie? You guys are being awfully quiet too. I'm hoping you're as drawn into it as we are right now. Stardew, I think Peggy left because she didn't want to lose potential questions she could get in the Schmodown because she and I kept talking.
Yeah, I believe she left.
But Peggy is now one of my all-time favorite people. I want to actually talk with her more and like hang out. She seems super dope. Every time she pops in, it's always super cool. This moment. Watching Michael J. Fox lose it. I love that I actually got to hear Michael J. Fox lose it like that.
Is that his only F-bomb ever?
I mean, I feel like he had to have in like Casualties of War or The Hard Way, right? Because The Hard Way is pretty rated R. That one with him and James Woods.
I haven't seen that one. I could think possibly in Casualties of War, but I mean, he's the lighter side of that.
Yeah, I think that for the most part,
I could see him maybe dropping one in The Secret of My Success.
Right.
But I haven't seen that in a long time either.
Last time I saw Secret of My Success is when we were at the bar and they were playing it on the televisions, remember?
I do like that movie.
I do too. I finally got it on Blu-ray. Kino put it out a couple.
I think it's streaming right now somewhere. I don't remember, but I know it's somewhere.
It was streaming. I think it was Max. Max had it. I need to get Doc Holliday, or not Doc Holliday. Doc Hollywood still. I don't own it. No. This right here, J. Fox is so good in this moment too, man. Michael J. Fox going toe to toe with Michael Douglas is what I live for. That explains so much. What a fucking exchange. And
Mm.
Michael J. Fox delivers it with every ounce of emotion you can possibly give, and so does Douglas. And that scene is the best scene in the movie to me. God, it's so good, man. Hey, Steven just donated $10 to the Streamlabs. He didn't say anything, but he donated. Steven, thank you.
Thanks, Steven.
We appreciate it, man. We always appreciate your support, friend. Were you a dork? Girls do like when you say you're sorry. Her little monologue here is so good, and the way she delivers it while she's like running around the room is so good. And that's just like peak acting, man.
When?
This is one of the few PG-13 movies also that drops the F-bomb 3 separate times. Certain movies can get away with it.
You doing, Gwen?
She really like went there though.
Burn.
That's like the way to cut into someone right there. This movie is just like so much of an acting masterclass in so many different ways to me. Like every actor gets to really do something awesome.
And yet this movie wasn't nominated for any awards, was it?
No, which is crazy to me. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Like the script, even, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn right.
Hmm.
What an interesting question, and like what a conundrum to put that on. That like, would we have won if my wife hadn't died? And I think that's such like a oh, man.
Look, win.
And what's so interesting is in that moment you realize like in all of this he's still kind of been lost. He's been
Mm-hmm.
waiting for him to like appear again,
Right.
And I kind of love that in that moment. It's like, what did I do? How did we do this? Like, what did I do to myself? And I kind of just dig everything about. No, you're right. Like I let the fire go out. I didn't. I stopped fighting. I wasn't doing the right thing. I love the score in this movie too. Who did the score in this? I can't remember. Oh, Mark Shaman did the score. I didn't realize that until now. That is crazy. And this moment is so good. This is actually one of my favorite speeches in any movie. I think Sorkin just like crushed the writing.
Mm.
And with that, I'm not going to talk very much through this. Sorry, guys. Mm-hmm. I like how they're all slowly showing up as it's happening. They weren't prepared. Get him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good. Yeah. Goddamn right. You are so close, Peggy. It's happening right now, but it is 4:55. Serious problems. And we need serious people. Talk about character, Bob. You want to come with more burning flag and a membership card. You want to talk about character and American values? Fine. So where and when, and I'll show up. People, Bob, and your 15 minutes are up. My name is Andrew Shepard, and I am the president. That's what's up.
Mm.
That's the kind of rousing speech you want out of a movie like this. But it's also a speech that feels so goddamn real and so honest. And it actually explains so much of the last 5 years in a lot of ways to me. Like, if you think about it, that whole thing, he's right, you know? They sold the same bill of goods. Remember when it was easier and better and all of that shit that you remember was so nice back then? That's what you want more of. Shove it. Actually do something with your time. Outside her door until she lets me in. I haven't worked that out yet, but groveling will be involved. Is so good. Damn right, Peggy. The way she walks in is so good. She also looks very comfortable, like that jacket with the sweatshirt. It's really nice. Yes. DuPont Circle. It's murder this, time of day. Martin Sheen's like, I'm going to get out of this because I shouldn't be in the room right now. Yeah, it's one of my favorites, Peggy. It's so good. I also like when he tells Lewis to hit himself with a baseball bat earlier in the movie. However much coffee you drink, I want you to do cut it in half. I don't drink coffee. Hit yourself with a baseball bat. I feel like I just came up with a question for the show. Now it's like everything's back to normal. He actually has to be president while Sydney's in the room. so good, man. And those shots of the Capitol right now. It's weird to actually see those shots now, considering all the shit that happened over the last month. And like imagining the chaos. No one could have thought like 26 years after this movie came out that would have ever happened.
From Carmen's House of Flowers, I hope.
Yeah, they have to be from Carmen's. Hopefully she didn't faint this time. Oh, man. It turns out I've got a rose garden. I just love that. It's so good. And I like that you can still see her like through the door as it closes as he's walking in to the room. It's so good, man. I think Peggy's your new favorite person too, Tim. Fun fact, the working title of this was Icebox Plays the Trumpet. All right,
Becky,
man.
the Icebox O'Shea.
Look, that is the American President. I love this movie. It's a movie I watch very frequently, if that wasn't clear, as I was like quoting my way through it and stuff. Tim, you finally revisited it for the first time in quite a while. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really great. I mean, the acting is great. The script's incredible. The dialogue, everything is fantastic. And very, relevant to like now, it hasn't aged poorly and it's still very, very, very watchable. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I'll probably make it more of a regular watch now. More than, honestly.
It's like a feel-good movie in a weird way, right? Like yeah. I think that's why I revisit it so frequently because number one, also, I don't know if you noticed, Frank Capra III actually did work on the movie, which I think is fantastic. But one of the things that I've always really liked about it is like every time I watch it, I'm kind of filled with a sense of hope, in a sense of I want to love this country, and that we ebb and flow through all sorts of issues and things like that. But this movie kind of makes me hopeful. But the acting is so good, and the script is so great. Everything about it just works, in my opinion. And I think that Douglas, Benning, and Fox all actually give like award-worthy, at least consideration as far as performances go. It's crazy to me that this script isn't even nominated for an Academy Award. I just think it's so good. And some of the scenes just like again, my favorite scene in the movie is that like shouting match in the Oval Office, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's so good because it could so easily feel over the top, but Reiner lets them play it real and it feels real. Like it's a very like heat of the moment. This is how you feel. And then you realize you've just raised your voice at someone and you bring it back, but it's like you're so stern. And Jay Fox going toe to toe with Martin Sheen and Michael Douglas in that moment is so good. Dude, it blows me away. And again, I think that one of the things I love about the movie is like Michael J. Fox gets to do something he doesn't get to do a lot of almost ever. Yeah. Like he was never looked at as a dramatic actor a lot of time, right? I know. That's what I'm saying, Dipper. It's crazy. So it just, I love the movie. I think the score is fantastic. Everything about this movie works for me. I'm really glad we watched this, and on President's Day of all days, it almost worked even better. So thank you to everyone who came to hang out with us tonight. Like, you're all the real MVPs. Man, it's just the best. I love this movie. Real quick, let's go through it again. If you don't know, we're going to re-air Front Center Mez tomorrow night because there was a corrupted filing thing with YouTube, so you'll get to watch it again. Come back and check it out. I'm really proud of it. Tim, what's this again?
This is our added to the playlist for Suddenly soundtracks with the pop punk. So we're going to be curating a pop punk playlist. Myself, Maxwell Haddad, Sean Sullivan, James White, Hanson Van Knight, and David B. So join us. It'll be a lot of fun.
Dope. Ramble on about movies If you guys haven't watched the inaugural episode, check it out. Handsome Dan, Eric Muller, myself, Maxwell. It's our new movie news show here. It has found a home. It is so much fun. They'll be back on Thursday as well. Friday night, we're figuring out the time. We're going to do D2 The Mighty Ducks, which is an executive producer pick by Brandon Buckingham. And of course, next Monday, as we let you guys know, we're doing Eddie the Eagle and Cool Runnings as a double feature because these movies rock. They took place at the same Winter Olympics, which is wild, and I'm super excited for that. If you haven't already, pick up Children of Blood and Bone for the new episode of Book Nook. That'll be on March 2nd. And I think that is pretty much it. Oh, yeah, WandaVision. Saturday morning, come hang out for the water cooler and listen to us talk about WandaVision because there's so much to say. You know, it's just the best. And I love everything about it. So with that, man, I think it's time to get the hell out of here. Tim, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me here at the Jukin. Find me Wednesday night doing the Suddenly soundtracks. And you can find me on Twitter at tfranco84, being my birth year.
So those numbers actually mean something. Unlike
those numbers do mean something.
That's good to know. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at PJ_Campbell. You can find me over at the Movie Trivia Schmodown where I write the questions. Be nice to the writers. We're only human. I'm very excited for this season. There's a lot of stuff coming up. One of the things that was finally announced today, the Black Cinema exhibition match is going live Friday. It's part of Skybound Expo. Guys, check it out. I think you're going to really enjoy it. Lots of fun stuff coming up. But from myself, from Tim, from everyone else here at the network, we're going to get the hell out of here. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.